What? Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Greetings, friends of the show. Welcome to another episode of the Best Friends podcast. I'm Justin.
And I'm Lucky.
And we're the best
friends. Nice. Nailed it. We're going to get it. It's going to get
one
better
of these days. Yeah. Well, today's our we're going to talk about Suicide Squad because we finally saw it, and for better or worse, we have thoughts about it. So we'll do a little non-spoiler portion. Lucky, I believe on Instagram you threw out a 6 was your number, right? 6 out of 10?
Yeah, it's on Twitter. I stand by that. It's 6 out of 10. Like,
stand by it.
It doesn't insult you completely as a moviegoer. You know, there's laughs, good special effects, decent action scenes, maybe a little too much gunplay, but it's fine. It's a fine summer movie.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny. I thought about it because my buddy, I went and see it with my buddy Eric, who hates DC and Marvel comics, but so I was like, "What'd you think?" And he liked Batman vs Superman better, and he hated that. But so I think why I liked Suicide Squad was because for Batman and Superman, my expectations were super high, they're at 11, and then the movie was I don't know, 7 or something, maybe 7 to 8. But for BVS, my expectations were super low, and so
Wait,
since
you mean
it's
Suicide Squad.
For Suicide Squad, what did I say?
Yeah, you said Batman vs Superman.
Okay, but Suicide Squad, my expectations were super low, and it was above that. So I think it made me, I wasn't as pissed off with it as I was Batman vs Superman. So I'm probably giving it a better score than maybe it deserves, or maybe not. I think it's pretty fair. But what did you think?
Yeah, I'm with you though. It was fine. It was good. It wasn't great. I was hoping it would be great, but I'm with you though. My expectations for Batman vs Superman were through the roof. It's gonna be the best movie in the world, and they had kind of swayed back and forth. I kind of based on some stuff that had come out on the internet about the movie and for Batman vs Superman. So my expectations kind of wavered both high and low, but then ultimately, I was disappointed in it. And then Suicide Squad, it was one of those movies where, I knew it came out in August and all that, but after Batman vs Superman, I think that kind of killed my desire to see it a little bit, because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's probably not going to be good because it's of the same vein. And so I went in pretty low on the expectation level, and it's good. I mean, I was never bored during it because I think,
I wasn't bored either.
It's got good pacing. There's definitely, it's been widely discussed online, so I'm sure you're not hearing it exclusive from us first, but that the movie starts off really strong, and it does, and then it gets a little muddled down in the story. And it gives you action, so it keeps it moving along, and it still has humor, and I like all of that. But then, it gets a little bogged down. I wasn't quite sure what was happening in some parts. I'm like, wait, I thought they were doing this, and they're doing something different. So, okay. But I liked it. I would say my favorite thing about it is that I said this on our last show, that I just wanted to have good characters coming out of this because it's the setup movie, so it doesn't have to be perfect, I guess, but it's a setup to a bigger universe. And right at the very beginning of the movie, they're talking about Gotham City, and they're talking about Metropolis and Batman and Superman, and there's cameos and all this other stuff that's going on. And I'm just as all those things were unfolding, it's still not in my mind that it's a shared universe. I'm still adapting to that because it's so new. And I just found myself being really excited every time they talked about something like that.
Yeah. I agree. And especially some of the cameos, well, we're spoiler free, I won't mention them, but they're kind of fun. And it feels like they're building something, but I ultimately do wish I think maybe they had too many characters, because some of them definitely got way more focus than the other ones, and then others are just well, why is he even in here then?
Yeah.
Don't bother. You just put too many characters in the movie. But we'll see. When do you want to dive into the spoilers and whatnot then?
Pretty much now.
Okay.
because it's good. Go see it.
Yeah.
It's not a waste of time nor money. The critical reception is just a lot lower than I think the fan reception is, and we're doing this show Sunday evening, and the box office numbers have come in. It did $135 million over the weekend, which broke Guardians of the Galaxy's August opening record from a few years ago. So people have gone out to see it. It's not like a travesty of a movie like you'll probably see on Rotten Tomatoes or through various reviews. So let's spoil it and let's talk about all the specifics that we loved and hated about it.
Yeah. Just one thing too is like, I kind of get why people are comparing, but I don't get why everyone's comparing it to Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, that's just a way better movie. I get it's because they're ragtag characters you don't know about, and then they're like, they made such a big deal about the music and stuff in this. But
oh yeah,
Guardians is just better, and like I don't think it's fair to compare them.
No,
it's just.
Well, it's not fair because one's really a lot better. It's like it's not fair to compare me to LeBron James in basketball.
Yeah,
because he's a lot better than me.
And then I guess the Marvel machine had been rolling full force at that point, and like DC's trying to still get their footing right now. So
yeah. So if I may, because this is spoiler free, I guess I want to draw a parallel as you kind of bring that up. Is that everybody's really quick to jump on DC and just be like, oh, DC can't make good movies and this, that, and the other. And it's like, with the exception, first of all, the Nolan trilogy of Batman, Dark Knight trilogy, whatever you want to call it, was amazing.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, three
it's
great
not
movies.
just a good comic book movie; they're good movies.
It's like good films. Like you want to study cinema, like go watch. They're
like
great movies.
Photography and stuff.
Yeah. But as I was kind of thinking about it, I thought back to the original X-Men movie and the original Fantastic Four movie, and the original was the first one. Was it called Hulk and then Incredible Hulk? The two movies that they did. So what I'm driving at is that prior to Marvel Studios being formed, Marvel was farming out. Spider-Man went to Sony, and
Daredevil, the new line.
Daredevil. Yeah, thank you for bringing up Daredevil. I even forgot about that. But Daredevil and the Incredible Hulk movie, none of them were like absolute garbage, but they weren't great. And it was only when they formed Marvel Studios and they had this plan for the shared universe and they kicked it off with Iron Man did really things take off. So they kind of had their learning period too, where they were like the baby deer trying to find its footing, and it wasn't always the best movies in the world. And DC, I think, is just coming along at a tough time where they're trying to catch up their cinematic universe at a time when Marvel just can't miss. And so it looks bad. But I think with what they've done to bring Jeff Johns in to kind of solidify it and have one direction, like one vision for the way things should look, like Marvel has with Kevin Feige, I think will help the movies and that shared universe moving forward. So I'm optimistic.
And they brought in Jeff Jones like after they started filming this, right? Like his hands are not in this.
Not really at all. He is credited as an executive producer, and his promotion was rumored like back in May or June. So I imagine that they were still late stages, and he may have been able to, like, I don't know, anything from like a musical choice to the tone, maybe even some editing choices.
Post-production and just getting it out the door. But like, he wasn't there the whole way to steer it. So,
and I hate to say it because like, there were some people that saw Man of Steel and were like, all right, well, maybe the next one will be a lot better. Not that it was bad, but it was good, but maybe the next one will be a lot better. And then it was Batman versus Superman. It wasn't so hot. Now we're like, well, Suicide Squad will be better. And it was maybe a little bit or just as good. But now it's like, now I find myself just saying Wonder Woman's going to be the movie that's going to really get it going. So I'm optimistic that.
I think everyone's pinned their hopes on Wonder Woman 2. Even my buddy Eric, he's like, if Wonder Woman's not good, I'm done. Like, I'll never see a movie ever again.
Yeah. If Wonder Woman's not good, it will be tough
to bounce back from that completely with this whole shared, like, that's when you're like, we have to push the reset button on everything.
Yeah. But again, out of this movie though, I think we have really good characters, and I said last show, like, I just hope the casting's good. I hope that I like everybody in their role, and I can honestly say that I did. That was one of my favorite parts of it, was just all the individual characters.
Yeah, I think the casting was good. Do you want to talk about like character by character, or did you have anything else you want to get off your chest first?
No, nothing spoiler free. I mean, everything else beyond this point was probably pretty detailed, so I don't want to like ruin anybody's, hopes and dreams of seeing the movie fresh. So from here on out, spoilers.
Spoilers.
You've been warned.
You were warned.
I don't know. I mean, just speaking specifically about the characters, like I loved Will Smith as Deadshot. I thought he was great.
Agreed.
He and Margot Robbie get like all the screen time, and that was probably my. I don't even know if I had an issue with it because I don't think everybody needs not everybody needs a full blown introduction. Like you can bring it like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were brought into, the Avengers. Or no, which one was that? It wasn't the Avengers.
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, yeah. So, you can bring characters in and introduce them quickly. And they did it the pretty, stereotypical way where a lot of exposition, there's like a narrative, like here's the file on this guy and this is what he does. And it was a little heavy-handed.
Can I say something about that part?
Yeah.
So that part was cool, like... Is that the intro, or do they do it because they hit it up in the intro, but didn't they hit it later? Or no, it is all in the intro, right?
That's when Amanda Waller's sitting down with the other guys at that like restaurant, and they're flipping through the file, and then it kind of goes into like a
okay.
little...
So here's my first problem with the movie then. Like those intros were cool and stuff, and I think it was a good way to do it. You got enough, but then, I get the soundtrack. You're just bombarded with the soundtrack. Like if they made a soundtrack for this movie, it would be like 2 discs, and that would just be for the first half of the movie. Like they fucking, you're just like this guy, his theme, and then that like 30-second like movie video clips, and it's like the soundtracks. It wasn't like in Guardians of the Galaxy where these are fresh new. Songs you forgot of, or they're good songs from yesteryear that nobody remembers or anything, or like a new generation's introduced them. But like these songs, they have like Eminem and stuff, and it's like songs
when they brought on Eminem, and I like Eminem, but I
like that song too. But it's like I've heard that song over and over and over, and like, but like they're just like find a line of lyrics that matches up with his character and stuff, and then they play the Rolling Stones, and like, what is this, Scorsese movie? Like there's like nothing original about the soundtrack, and like it definitely felt like tacked on and just like overly insistent, kind of just like the soundtrack matches up to this, so you get it right. Okay, next character, did you get that? Okay, next one. It's just like all right.
Very well could have been a thing that they did like in the editing phase of the movie, like late in the movie, where they were trying to lighten the tone and keep it more fun and fresh after Batman versus Superman came out.
I think it definitely was.
Yeah. So I don't want to be all negative, but one of the things I was most
negative.
Surprised by. So like, what did you think of the Joker?
I thought he was great. I mean, it wasn't as memorable as Heath Ledger, but I enjoyed his screen time every time he was on there.
Yeah.
I think the look is really cool and fresh. Like it's a different take, and I liked it. He's like more of a mobster. He's like in with the mob. Someone made the comparison that like the Joker, original Joker, was like a comparison to like he was kind of like a gangster at that time, and that's why he was dressed like that. And so this one, they dressed him contemporary. He looks like a gangster, some type of underground guy, because you see him in the he's in the club lounge, and like the other guys look like him. They're all tattooed guys and stuff.
Gold everywhere, like a lot of jewelry.
And he fits in with them too. So like I like it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked him a lot too. I was really surprised by how scarce he is in the movie. Like there's not as I felt like all the scenes that you see in the trailer, compile them, and it's almost the same amount of screen time as he gets in the movie. And Jared Leto actually was kind of pissed off about it. He I almost died. He in the like in a recent interview after the movie had come out, somebody asked him like, "Hey, how do you feel about a lot of your scenes being cut?" And he's like, or something about that, and he's like, what scenes weren't cut? Like he was basically just saying like a lot of his stuff was cut out, and I was surprised by how little he was used, because I thought the trailers made it look like he was a pretty big focal point of the movie.
Oh yeah.
And he's not. He's just like introduced. But I'm with you though that what I saw of him, it was like an appetizer, and I want to see more of it.
I want to see more of that Joker.
Yeah.
And let me caveat that. So I like his acting and the characterization of the Joker. I didn't always like what he did or where they put it in the movie. Does that make sense? Like some of the
elaborate.
Okay, so like
I think I'm with you, but
so there's like a random scene, like I think maybe 3/4 of the way in the movie, where because they do the creation of Harley Quinn in flashbacks, and
right?
Like he electrocutes or whatever, but then like it keeps randomly chopping back and forth to them, and one of them is him. They jump into the Ace Chemical vat of chemicals, and like it's like the baptizing her in evil. This is the rebirth of Harley Quinn and stuff. But that scene was just at such a random point, and it didn't connect with anything else, and like it didn't make you feel anything more of the characters. Does that make sense? It was more like a nod to the past. It was almost more of just a nod to the original Tim Burton Batman or something.
Well, they did there's a lot of stuff with the Joker that was kind of again, it just felt very origin fleshing out kind of stuff, where you're right about like a lot of that stuff was told in flashbacks. They show him in Arkham kind of manipulating Harleen Quinzel, and then you get the Alex Ross thing though, where they're you that iconic Alex Ross thing with Joker and Harley Quinn, where he's like in the tuxedo and she's in the
and they're dancing.
Yeah, and like
that was cool.
But again, it serves no purpose other than like fan service to be like, look, we're taking this straight out of the source material, guys. That was my only issue with it. And that Ace Chemicals scene was very similar. Like, hey, look, we're saying that the Joker's origin comes from Ace Chemicals, so kind of like alluding to the Red Hood story and or Red Hood origin of the Joker. And I didn't like some of that stuff because I thought it was like too heavily like.
Yeah, I thought it was cool scenes. It was well shot, but it was like I don't get why it's there. Does that make sense? It's like it doesn't fit with everything else that was going on at that point.
Right.
Or this was it too, because she's like in the hall. I remember where it is. They're in the hall, or they're in the stairway, and she just stops, and it's like it's when she goes to Dad. She's like, "Do you believe in love?" And it's like, why are you thinking about that right now? You're about to go fight these monsters, and it just cuts to that flashback.
Oh yeah, she like lost herself and flashes back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Now get on with it, and then they just go back to what they were doing. So it's just like.
So what did you think overall of like everybody's issue with like the plot and the story getting kind of muddled down in like the second and third act? Like, what was your take on that?
It's a chunky, clunky plot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should. I guess I should just dive into it, but. More things I had to that like offended me had to do with like the movie, the rules it established for itself in the universe of the movie. Let me get to that.
Yeah,
later.
Go ahead.
But so, I mean, you could make them heroes and have them be villains at the same time. Like you can tell a hero story with villains, and it's almost like that because. They're all bad guys, and you can look at it like this is their second chance. And I thought about like this, because is there a reason why instead of killing all the bad guys, Batman saves them and packs them into Arkham Asylum? I think because he has hope that they could change or redeem themselves or be, rehabilitated or something. And that's kind of like the theme of Batman, right?
Sure.
So I think with this movie, they should have made it, some of them they'll redeem themselves. And like you kind of get that with El Diablo. I get his story's a little chunky, but I'll get in that later. You kind of get that with El Diablo. He decides to be a hero in the end and stuff. You get it a little bit, or you get it with Deadshot and stuff. He wants to see his daughter and stuff. And so you could do it where you could it's kind of a happy end where like these guys they have some chance of using their powers for good, but like they're still in. They go back to the jail because they still have like sins to work off. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like well, they've got too much of like negative equity in crimes committed that their good act during this movie was, I think she said it's 10 years off their prison sentence.
Yeah, and he's like, tune in next time to the next suicide.
Yeah, right.
And like, but you can be sympathetic to them, but like, I don't know if I were, or I wish they made it stronger, I guess. So that's just kind of my comment on the overall plot. And then I have more to say about the individual plots of the
go ahead. Just
story arcs for the characters.
Give me your spoiler-filled take on everything.
I'm gonna have to go like systematically one by one, kind of then.
Go ahead.
So my only experience with Rick Flag is from reading The New Frontier.
Okay.
And he's kind of like this renegade agent Nick Fury type, but he's always like the hero and stuff. And so for me, I was kind of looking in the movie to him basically be like kind of a Captain America without the powers type thing. You know what I mean? Like he's reluctantly in charge of these guys, which he is reluctantly in charge of them. But then I think I just didn't like what they do. They twist his character kind of because they're like he is under the control of the witch and he's in love with her and Amanda Weller controls her, and that's the only reason that he's part of the team because she's kind of like blackmailing him because he fell in love with the witch.
Well, and you're absolutely right though, because they could have played it like he's the good soldier that'll do whatever's asked of him.
Yes, that's what I want.
And they didn't. Yeah, they played it more. Well, I think they were just really trying to drive home the fact that Amanda Waller is extremely manipulative, and she can. Almost kind of like sinister in her own right. So, but yeah,
which she is, and they drive that home. But like,
yeah, but you didn't have to drive that. You got that driven home from a lot of other beats in that. You didn't need.
He's the one good guy besides Katana. He's the one good guy. He's not a villain that he's in there, and then, but he has to be tainted with that whole subplot with the witch. And then I kind of hated the thing with the witch, and I'm gonna go to the end with this one. So. He falls in love with a witch, and she's the reason why the whole plot of the movie happens, which I thought was really chunky too.
Yeah.
So, or clunky, I don't know. Maybe clunky is a better word. So he falls in love with the witch, and so she Amanda Weller loses power of the witch, and they have to go fight her and stuff. So, but like, I don't really have that much sympathy or care that much about their relationship. You only see them like in bed together, or she's like crying because of her powers and he's comforting them, but like I didn't feel any empathy for the witch. Did you at any point?
No,
really?
No.
Oh.
I would say I most did at the beginning of
they had a chance and then they lost it.
Well, yeah, at the beginning of the movie, there's that scene where they're in that like boardroom, meeting room, whatever, and she's laying out the plans for the Suicide Squad, and she uses the witch to go to like steal some, what was it, Iranian nuclear plans or something like that.
Yes,
whatever. So
exactly what it was.
Yeah, she like teleports over there, steals the plans, and comes back and drops it off. And the guy's like, "We've been after this for like forever," and she just breaks down into tears, like, "I don't want to become the witch anymore. Like, I hate doing that. I can't do it anymore." And then there's that moment that archaeologist June Moon turned Enchantress is like, "I don't want to do that. I'm possessed by this evil witch. I don't want to be this pawn anymore." And so it was at that moment, that I felt that sympathy. But yeah, you're right. After that, though, she basically just turns into Enchantress the rest of the movie, and I kind of lost it.
Yeah. And then, so what I don't get is, so the fighter, yada yada, we'll talk about it later. They defeat her, and he thinks she's dead. But like Ghostbuster style, she comes out of the shell, right, and she's fine, and they saved her. But I'm like in Ghostbusters, that's how they should have played it. It's just like Ghostbusters. She's possessed, she becomes evil, and like Rick Flag has to have a thing where he's like, "Man, I don't want to kill my girlfriend, but I guess for the greater good, I have to." But like in Ghostbusters, they set it up where she's a really important character, and she's Sigourney Weaver's like the love interest and stuff. And so it's like a really happy moment when like she's alive and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in this one, he finds her, and you're just like, all right, I don't really care, because like everyone else, they don't give a shit about everyone else that was possessed and turned into a henchman or something. Like,
Yeah,
and they're like
thousands
his
that they're
soldier
just
and SEAL
wiping out.
buddies. Oh yeah, they're just shooting them, whatever. But like, he's reluctant to kill his girlfriend though. And then like you don't see any of those people coming out of their shells or anything. So like, I think they missed something there where I don't know. It's just like I didn't care about the Enchantress and she lived, but then like, what about all those other soldiers and stuff?
Yeah.
And whatever civilians were in that city too. Like,
Right.
see what happened. It doesn't let you know what happened with that city in the end, really.
Which is a nod, Midway City. Little.
Is Midway City from the comics? What is that?
Yeah,
What's
that's
the story?
every now and again, Midway City is home to Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Okay, that's the universe it's from. All right.
Yeah. So it's like you've got Coast City with the Green Lantern and Gotham City with Batman, and so Midway City is not an all too often visited city, but yeah.
Well, shit, they kind of missed something then with Hawkman and Hawkgirl, because they're like ancient gods.
Yeah, there could have been an Easter egg somewhere that is hiding.
Yeah, and like with the Enchantress and her brother.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
Like they could have. You had a chance just to add a little. You didn't have to completely go in a direction, but you could have put in a little nod to them and like how these ancient spirits find souls and stuff. But whatever. So, and then I guess, can I talk about the rules things?
Yeah,
I guess
I know
it has
where
a lot
you're
to
going
do
with this.
That. So the witch and her brother are ancient beings with supernatural powers and stuff, right? Basically magic. Just like for added value or reference or comparison, I guess. Like one of Superman's weaknesses in the comic books is magic, right?
Yeah.
So like Shazam can beat him, like in Kingdom Come, or Captain Marvel or Shazam, whatever you want to call him, can use the magic lightning power to weaken Superman and stuff like that. So these are magic-based villains, right? They don't have a magic weapon to defeat them. The ultimate idea to defeat the brother, I don't know what the name of it is. A bomb. Or I thought you were saying his name is Isabom.
No.
That's kind of a cool name, right?
Yeah, Isabom.
Sounds ancient. But to defeat Isabom, they don't have a spell or like they're like, we found the magical artifact to defeat him. It's a bomb that kills him. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, what about all those jets and missiles and they shit and fired him? Nothing killed him.
Right.
And to contrast that with Batman v Superman, they actually did something right. So Superman and Doomsday are Kryptonians who are, their weakness is kryptonite. So that you have the spear, and it makes sense in the plot. Batman had the spear to kill Superman. And ultimately they use it to kill Doomsday, and that's what defeats him, right? The thing that they established defeats him, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So in this one, they're magic-based beings, but they just use explosions to blow them. And then, like, even their device, whatever they're built... This kind of weird thing, like, remember how when we reviewed X-Men Apocalypse?
Right.
They're like, I don't know what Magneto's doing. He's just building stuff.
He's just building...
an architect. Yeah. That's all this witch is doing. She's like, oh, my machine's going to get them, and I'm going to use... the machines against the humans only worship machines.
She did kind of use it at the end of the movie, though, where she was just like sawing aircraft carriers in half.
Okay, I take it back.
Yeah, I'm with you though. But prior to that point, though, you didn't know what the hell it was for. Yeah. Like, what is she doing with this big beam of light? And then when she starts kind of laying waste to stuff. But notice they were very selective, and God bless them for listening to the fans a little bit. They didn't destroy any cities with it. They were like just like an aircraft carrier because whatever.
No one cares about the military. Fuck
yeah, they're supposed to. They're supposed to get. Yeah.
But so the plan to blow up that machine is they just toss a sack of I don't even know if they're magical explosives or anything.
No, it's like a stick of dynamite.
Yeah, and then Deadshot shoots it to detonate it, and that's the end of that. And then the other thing is so you establish that the witch's, the enchantress's powers are she can manipulate and control people and make them see stuff, right?
Yep.
So they're fighting her, but like she uses their past a little bit, like, but
oh yeah,
it also
she does.
doesn't mean anything. They're just like, oh, that's just an illusion, whatever. Like, so that part was kind of cool where they showed like what they all really want, and
yeah, I thought that was great.
That was a great,
and it was
scene.
only Diablo like sees through it,
yeah,
and like kind of refocuses everybody. I like that.
And but then she fights him physically, and you know, they're going back and forth and stuff, and then she's like, all right, I've had enough, and she takes all their weapons away, and they're just like, you just did that in the beginning, like, why'd you fight them and stuff? And then also, so what I didn't like is so you had the Katana character in there, right? Her name's Katana,
yeah,
right? She has, it's not like a Muramusa blade from Marvel, but I guess the origin was it was made by Muramusa, the great Japanese swordsman. But like in the Marvel universe, it cuts through everything. Like Wolverine uses it to cut off Sabretooth's head and kill him. But like in this one, because you're like, she's got an enchanted blade, maybe it does something. He cuts off the guy's hand, but then it grows back.
It grows right back.
So it's like, so you have the magic sword and you have a magic based being, but like the magic sword doesn't have any effect on the magic being. So it's like, well, what the fuck?
If it were to kill him, it traps his soul. That's what that blade does. But
he had to kill him though. I think his hand should have been cut off and like shown some weakness of it.
Right.
And then also you had a good chance because like Diablo, he's like, let me reveal my true power, and he's like a Mayan god or something like that. But he can't defeat the guy. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, we can't defeat him with magic. Then, like, the plan is we're just going to blow him up with a bomb, though. Like, why does the bomb work, but the Mayan magic doesn't work?
I thought where you were going with this was, well, I see what you're saying. I'm with you on all those things. But I thought, like, in terms of the whole narrative about DC trying to create, like, a universe that's based in reality or our real world, that's out. That's out of the window. That's out the window now.
Which I believe that's what I'm saying. You have to adhere to the rules then. Like, I'm fine with their magic, but then like use something based on magic to defeat it. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah, not just
like,
a bomb. Well,
because otherwise, then you just have to punish or fucking kill all these people. You just shoot them and blow them up.
Well, it's basically Deadshot. Deadshot's kind of like the Punisher in a way. You know,
let's say you could have just sent Deadshot by himself, then just blow them up.
Yeah, just throw this bomb over there and shoot that, and then it'll blow up, and we'll win. Like, all right.
Yeah, set up your little mirrors that reflect bullets and shoot them.
Yeah, did you like that or did you not
I
like that?
No,
I
loved
loved it. I loved it.
It was great.
Yeah, Deadshot was for me like the standout character of the movie. And I liked the reflecting bullet that kills the guy. But I really liked the scene where they're fighting off all those monsters. And they're kind of getting nowhere, and Deadshot just like posts up on top of the car and just wipes out like everything in seconds. Yeah. I thought that was great to kind of demonstrate how lethal he is, and he was going crazy with all the like gauntlet guns that he's got and everything. I really like that. I thought that was one of the coolest parts of the movie from an action perspective.
I agree. That was. Most of the stuff Deadshot was involved in was pretty cool.
Well, he was the one character that was like really fleshed out. Like he had a full blown backstory, and you really understood where he was at from a character perspective. And like what drove him.
There's one thing I don't like about him is his end. In that, so he's teaching his daughter. They're doing homework together. And he's like, well, yeah, so you got to account for the wind speed, the rotation of the earth, the friction, and the air resistance and stuff when you want to hit that shot and hit him in the head. And it's just like, why are you teaching your daughter this? Or like, why are they letting you teach her? Like, the only thing I could see is like, does his daughter grow up to be Deadshot 2 or something like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Comics?
I don't.
If it does, I'm like, okay, I see that. But if it doesn't, like, doesn't he want her? Because he's like, I want her to go to Harvard and Yale and stuff. And like, why are you teaching her the skills of life to be an assassin then? Right? Because he wants
weird
to get out of this.
At first, he's like helping her with her homework, and he's like, yeah, you got to, calculate for the hypotenuse and do this, that. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. He's helping her with her homework. And then she's talking about, talking about all the ballistics of missile or of ammunition and stuff.
It wasn't like it would be funny if she was talking about a math problem and then his only context was to relate it to sniping and stuff.
Right.
But she's the one that brings it up.
Right.
So you're like, what the fuck? This doesn't even make sense. Like, it's not even funny in a twisted way. Like,
yeah.
It's one of the writing missteps, I think. Oh, and then there's another writing misstep I had where the Enchantress is like, "You don't have the balls to kill me."
I
and
know.
I'm like, would she really say that? Like, what the fuck? Like,
dude, they said shit a lot in that movie.
Yeah.
For being PG-13, I thought that was like a taboo word for PG-13 movies.
I think the only thing you can't say is fuck. But like, why don't mind that they said shit? But like, it's like if you have the Enchantress, why would that character say balls? Like, it's just like,
yeah, she's like a million years old.
Yeah,
she's a witch, and
you don't have the balls to defeat me. Like, you couldn't rewrite that real quick, fix it in ADR. Like, we're going with balls. Balls is it.
You would think that even as an actor, you'd just be like, well, this is probably an ad lib moment. Balls doesn't feel right to me.
Like, I feel that my character wouldn't say that or whatever. But I guess my buddy told me she's not an actress. She was a model, and they found to play the part. So maybe she didn't have the acting balls to stand up for her character. I don't think my character would say that, but anyway. So I have other stuff. I want you to go though.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have like all the details. Like, you took some notes. I didn't really take any notes. I just kind of went and saw it. But I just think like overall, yeah. I mean, the movie starts off and it's really action packed. And to your point about like music, I thought the music was good in kind of the first half, where it does kind of like jive with everybody's backstory, and it just kind of goes through. And the introduction of the characters I thought was just really well done. But yeah, it just gets really convoluted when they get into. There's like a twist in there that I didn't think needed to be in there, because we already knew about it. Where we knew that Rick Flag was being manipulated by Amanda Waller to do this because he's in love with the Enchantress, but the Suicide Squad didn't know it. So it was like this twist, and when they do it, I don't know if it was supposed to get an audience reaction of like, what? Because
what twist are you talking about?
Like where Deadshot gets the binder that shows that Rick Flag has a relationship with her. It's like, yeah, we knew that from the opening scene of the movie. Too? Yeah, like unnecessary. It was an unnecessary twist. That, and when they're instead of going towards the big beam of light, they're going towards to rescue Amanda Waller at the headquarters or whatever, Argus's headquarters. But again, another one of those things where. That just didn't make sense. I'm like, why are they going over there? It doesn't make sense that they're not trying to take down the big machine that's gathering all this power. I don't know.
Can I say something about that binder? And it's another one of those things that I found clunky. So Deadshot, he finds in the helicopter. Chunky, yeah. Chunky, clunky, whatever. Monkey, blunky. I don't know. He goes in the helicopter. And by the way, how many helicopter crashes can they throw in this movie? It's like they're trying to take the mantle away from Black Hawk Down. They're just like, let's crash every helicopter in this movie. Like, what? I think it's like 4 helicopters crash in this movie.
Quite a few.
Something like that. So he finds the file, and he speed reads this file or something.
Oh, he was gone 30 seconds and comes back.
Yeah, 300 pages, and then it's like him finding the file, then cut to, hey Rick, what's up with this, man? And it's just like. And he's like, you saw the picture of me and the witch. She's like, yeah, I saw the picture. And it's just like, did you read the whole file or something? Like, and then how does he know what Enchantress looks like when she's human? Like, you could have just show him sitting down and reading it in the bar or something, and being like, wait a second. But they're like,
wait a minute.
He just by osmosis. He just matrixed. I read the file. You know what I mean? Just like,
hey, what'd you think of Killer Croc?
Liked him. Really skinny though. It's like he looks
his
so
head's
big.
Too big for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he takes off his shirt. It's like he's not that built, little guy.
Yeah, you think they'd have a suit for him or something.
Yeah, or
he looks like a bobblehead.
Yeah, put him on stilts. Yeah, it's just a suit. Make the suit bigger, just like
CG him, because why not?
Yeah, because so I think the Killer Croc from the animated series looks the most human, but then in the video games he's like this big monster
huge,
and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I
just think they should have got
You didn't
like
have to be
Brock
9
Lesnar
feet tall, right? But yeah, you should be built more.
Because like right, he works in the circus at one point too, doesn't he, or not? Like, I don't know. I just thought he'd be bigger.
Yeah, I was disappointed. Well, not disappointed.
The suit looked cool and everything.
Did they have like an odd undertone of like blackness with him though?
Yes.
Where they're like,
I'm beautiful, and just like,
just the way he talked. I didn't like the way that he talked.
Oh, and he's like, I want BET.
Yeah, for his prison cell. Like everybody gets a little request for their prison cell, and that's what he wants. He wants BET. I was like,
he should have also asked for like fried chicken and watermelon while they're at it. Like, just go full racism.
Yeah, just blow it out. That was the one thing that I was like, it's different because what's Killer Croc's real name? It's Waylon Jones or something like that, right? So it's pretty much implied like it's a black guy, but you can't tell by looking at him that he's a black guy because he looks like a crocodile. So the fact that he looks like a crocodile but has all like, the African American, like, I don't know, just the way he talks and what he's requesting in his cell. It was, I don't know, it was just weird. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
It fell flat on me, though. I didn't get it.
It's, actually, the actor that plays him is British. But
is he really?
It's a black actor, yeah, that plays him. But, I don't know. I want to try this name. Adewale Akinyi Abaji.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really bad. Was that
Adewale? That's probably right.
Adewale? Okay.
Let's just stick to first names.
Sure. Adewale. So, yeah, it was kind of a weird choice, I guess. Like, he could have played it ambiguously, you know what I mean? Like, that you don't know what race he is or whatever.
Sure. Or just like, I mean, it didn't have to be outright like that. That was just a little too over the top for me.
Yeah.
Hey, so we talked about cameos earlier, but never really alluded to them. So Batman and The Flash are both in this.
I love both of their cameos.
Oh my God, me too. I felt like it was the cameo I wanted to see in BVS when I saw The Flash.
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting that. Or like to be so prominent in the cameo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's in full uniform and he's got all the lightning and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, I loved it. And Zack Snyder actually directed that scene. So
I love everyone's making a big deal out of it. It's like a
40 seconds.
40 second scene. And it's like, all right, now we're gonna CGI you around, but like just do some poses and stuff. Flash.
That's kind of what he did too.
And cut. All right, we'll send it over to them.
Well, I liked the Flash's cameo for a couple of reasons. Actually, I like Batman's too because they focused on their specific people. Like Batman goes after Deadshot and the Joker.
Yeah.
And it was appropriate that the Flash goes after Captain Boomerang because
he's the Flash gallery of villains.
Right. So
did Killer Croc get captured by Batman? I forget how they did him.
I
wish they did.
No, he didn't get captured by Batman. You're right. I can't remember how they said that he was brought in.
Did they just get him in the sewer or something?
I think it was something like that. I don't remember.
It's just some cops with a big dog chasing net, and that's how they got Killer Croc. We got him!
They had like that collar with the like this collar on the stick. There's a guy fishing in Gotham Harbor and just like reels him in. Like, oh my God, what is this? Put him in Belle Reve. But we got our first glimpse of Arkham Asylum, which I thought was... I'll say this about the movie. So we talked about the cameos were great, but I thought like just how it kind of took from the source material was really, really good. Like it really stuck to it in terms of having Belle Reve Prison and the look of Arkham Asylum, Harley Quinn's origin story was all right to the source. Even like I said, using Midway City as the city that this all goes down in, because they could have said it was somewhere else or whatever.
Yeah,
and it would have been fine. So I just liked all that. I thought that was good, and so I just think like as a launch pad, it's a good step in the right direction for them.
With Harley Quinn, I think we should talk about her a little more. But like first off,
I liked her a lot.
I liked her too. So I would say I liked her. for her origin, like, do you think they needed to have Joker, like, electrocuting her head and shit to twist her? Like, because, I mean, isn't it he just uses, like, his powers of, like, manipulation and persuasion, and, like, she had this dark side the whole time that, like, how, like, they say, like, people that become psychologists do it because they kind of want to self-diagnose something in them or something like that. Maybe people don't say that, but that's a theory of mine.
Yeah.
But like, so I don't know if I liked how they're like he really like goes all out to like abuse her to turn him.
No, I did like it, and I liked it just because like I think that pushes her over the edge, kind of like to the point of no return.
Okay.
Yeah, and like sends her like she was in love with him and admired him, and she'd do anything for him. And he's like, I need a machine gun, and she does that, and he gets out and all that stuff.
Okay, I'll share a funny moment because I'm being so negative, but
yeah,
there's a funny moment. It's funny.
Yeah,
in the
you're
movie.
like, I like that movie, but here, let me shit on it for a minute.
Where it's a great scene where Batman's chasing them, and they're in like the Lamborghini, it crashes in the water, and then he goes to rescue Harley Quinn, and he goes down there, and she looks passed out, and she tries to knife him, and then he punches her.
Yeah.
So I saw that movie with my buddy, and his girlfriend was sitting in between us. So when Batman punched her, I laughed a little too hard. And then I looked at her, and I'm like, ooh, punching women is wrong. She, like, looked at me, like, 'cause I laughed a little too hard. I was just like, oh, but no, that's not right. It's not a good thing to do. A lot of online people made comments about, like, her wardrobe being too skimpy and stuff. Like, what do you think about that? I mean, I don't know. Like, I didn't really,
I'm good
it
with
didn't
it.
add anything for me. So, like, but I wasn't, like, offended by it. Like, I think it's one of those things everyone's just looking for something to be offended by.
Of course it is, because that's our society that we live in, where everything's
it's the
offensive.
New national pastime.
What am I offended about today?
Move over, football and whatever.
American Pie and baseball.
No, her outfits made sense for her. They show her dancing in the club and stuff, and like maybe they over sexualized the character, but like I don't know in the context.
I liked it. I thought it was fine.
And she's got a great booty, so.
Yeah, I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at all.
It's like the actress wasn't mad with her. She could have said something about, her costume and stuff.
Whatever. They showed Will Smith shirtless, like.
Yeah, okay, that was my counter.
Shadow boxing in prison, so.
He's shirtless so much of the time, so it's like, well, how come no one's outraged about Will Smith being like shirtless?
Yeah. No, I liked all the character portrayals. The story was a little jacked for me. I mean, I've heard people saying, like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like, I've seen the craziest stuff, and I'm like, dude, I mean, the story wasn't...
Not the worst movie, yeah.
No, the story wasn't great, but the characters were good. It was funny. There was good action sequences in it. Sure, if it was not... It's not going to win an Academy Award. I don't think it was striving to. It's a fun, good summer popcorn movie. And I think it's like exciting to set up more of, the future state. Speaking of, there was an after credits scene that I didn't stay for because they didn't have one in BVS, so I just assumed that they wouldn't here, but they did, and you saw it. So why don't you just talk about that for a minute, because I didn't see it.
Okay, so the after credits scene, it's not a huge scene. There's no special effects or anything, but it's cool and definitely sets up Justice League, which I think a lot of this movie is basically setting up Justice League. So Amanda Weller, she's at the same restaurant where you saw her in the beginning with the files and stuff, and she is having dinner with one Bruce Wayne, and so he's like, do you have the files? She's like, yeah, and he's like, so we agree that like Wayne Tech will take the blame for what happened in Mid-City and clean it up, and she's like, okay, so like he's basically taking the heat off her. And so she gives him the file, and it has the first page is like Enchantress, and the next page is a picture of Aquaman. So it like leads directly to the trails you saw of Aquaman and him finding him in the Norwegian village. But then she's like, he's like, don't, he doesn't even do the Batman voice. I don't know why I'm doing it. He's just like, take apart the team. Me and my friends will handle it from now on. And she's like, you really think your friends can do it? And then she's like, whatever. But then she's like, you might want to stop going out and get some sleep. You look tired. You've been going out at night too much, Mr. Wayne. And it's just, she knows who he is, but like, does she know who he is in the comics too, or not? I guess. That's the scene though. That's all the scene is then. But it's like everyone knows who Batman is now. Like Lex Luthor knows, Amanda Weller knows. He's not doing a good job of protecting his identity in this universe.
I was just gonna say one of the things, and it's not a big deal, but like, you know, Will Smith plays Deadshot. Deadshot wears a mask. He almost never wears the mask in this movie. He has it on just a few scenes. But, I mean, Marvel's just as guilty of doing it. Like, Captain America almost never has his helmet on. You know, they take a lot of liberties in these movies because they've got these, you know, actors that are making $50 million for the movie. They're like, no, we got to see that guy's face because we're paying for that face.
Yeah. It's the opposite of Deadpool, where like they have Ryan Reynolds,
true, and he's like
the most attractive man in the world before, and they're like, put him in a mask the whole movie, and we're gonna fuck his face up when he takes off the mask.
Yeah, like
you're never gonna see him
when he's wearing a mask. He looks better than when he's not wearing a mask.
Yeah. Then Deadpool's like, we can't cover up Will Smith. He used to be the #1 box office draw. We gotta show him off as much as we can.
Right.
So.
But it's yeah, no, it's I just thought that it was funny that, you know, of course they find a way that he can still wear like his little eye reticle but not have a full blown mask on.
Yeah, the eye reticle's like, see, he's still Deadshot.
Yeah, he's still Deadshot. It's just, you know, a different version.
Well, put this mask on, I kill a lot of people, or whatever he says.
Yeah, he does.
Like, all right, cool, but so it does make it a little badass when he has it on. You know, shit's about to go down.
About to go down, yeah.
Oh, can we get spoiler alert? But can we have a moment of silence for Slipknot?
Yeah.
That was very disrespectful, Justin. I said a moment of silence.
I know.
But like,
I think our moment of silence lasted longer than this scene. Well, okay.
That's nice.
So I will say this though, in the comic books, in the origin of the Suicide Squad, Slipknot has the same fate. For the same reason, he like
get out of here.
No, he tests whether or not like they're kidding around. They have they had like wrist bracelets.
Now, what Suicide Squad is this? Like the original one from like the 70s?
Yeah, the original one with, you know, they were originally called Task Force X. Yeah, it's hard to say. But the same thing happens to him. So,
okay.
So that's why it's appropriate. And I mean, Slipknot's stupid anyway. So like, we're not missing anything. But
funny, they didn't even give him like an origin story either. They're just like, and also like, this guy, just like
yeah. But I mean, he had to be there to set the example that like he had to be the sacrificial lamb, so that, you know, you knew they weren't kidding around about taking you out. But that was funny.
You know how everyone made a big deal about them over sexualizing like Harley Quinn, but it fits for her character. But then like I thought Katana was pretty hot too, but like she's walking around with a bare midriff and stuff, and like you're like a ninja samurai assassin. You gotta be a little sexy too.
I thought her look was pretty close to the comic book though.
No, I really liked her look. It's just like I would have put her in like a, you know, maybe like a Scarlet Witch type thing or something, but.
Where's Ben?
She looked great. I'm not complaining about
Scarlet Witch.
What's up? Yeah.
I said, where's Ben? You just mentioned the Scarlet Witch. Ben will definitely have a boner. He loves Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, I meant not Scarlet Witch. Black Widow. She has like the spy suit and stuff.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe like Ninja did that up a little bit.
No,
the mask's cool.
I thought Katana was great. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, just like overall, like it really felt like a comic book, looked like, you know, what you would want those characters to like look and be like. So, I'm pumped about it. Are you gonna go see it again? Did you go see it again?
No, once is enough for me. I'll watch it when it gets released on video or something though. But like, I don't want to spend more money on that movie for a theater. Also. It was a packed theater. I mean, I went Thursday night at 10, and it was a packed house. And this lady to the right talked all the way through the movie.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah. No, it wasn't bad, but it's just like
bad enough.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
annoying.
Aren't you at the movie to see the movie? Why would you talk all the way through?
Right. Yeah,
anyway.
that drives me nuts. I can't do that.
But yeah, it was a packed house, and then you comment on the money, like it's the biggest August opening. I think the opening is more successful than they thought, but like, it's kind of funny. Like some of the articles I just read before we got on this, they're like, yeah, but it'll probably be a big drop off though. It's like, I was like, why are you rooting against it? Like, I don't know, like why you care, because like I think the reviewer is like, well, we shouldn't support these bad movies, but like people will go seeing them. What the fuck? Like,
yeah, I don't understand. I think that you've always said. I've always said that I'm more of a DC guy just because it's like what I've read, not because I don't like Marvel, but just because it's what I've read. And when you get
you're not
into
a
it,
fuck Marvel guy.
No.
Like, who was that? David Ayer that said that, or who was the one?
Yeah, that was David Ayer actually, which is
dumb thing to say,
especially when your movie has like a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it's
it's clearly he was the problem. Then he's like, we made a great movie. Fuck Marvel. This is gonna knock the socks out of everyone. Just like, no. You made an okay movie, man. Just settle down a bit, like. And then he apologized about it too, I think.
Yeah, he did.
I got excited. Sorry. Speaking of David Ayer, like I didn't hate this as much as a similar movie he made, Sabotage, and I really wanted to like that movie. And it was basically another group of criminals. You didn't know who to root for, but like he wrote and directed both of them, and like I think this one's a better movie, and he's getting down bad guys. He works a lot with ambiguous hero types. He did Training Day and End of Watch. So I mean, he's getting better, I guess. Training Day and End of Watch were great movies. I just meant those. I just mentioned his past work. It wasn't for comparison's sake, but I was comparing it to Sabotage, which sucked.
Yeah, it's I don't know. He's never done a movie like this
with superheroes or
superheroes driven by special effects. I mean, name a movie he's done that had like a lot of special effects, and there was a lot of talk about that being an issue.
I will say his movies have all had a lot of gunplay, and whoo, was there so much gunplay in this one? Like, holy shit! So it was literally a shooting squad. Is that what they call it? No, firing squad at one point when they're just like on the cop cars, just shooting monster people. Just like,
yeah, they really needed a villain in this. I feel like they could have used the Joker as the villain of the movie, because he's just so psychotic. He'd try to kill everybody, and could have like gone after him some way. I don't know. That would be the one thing that I thought was hollow about it, was you just had like the Enchantress, which I mean I don't even know if she'll come back now.
Basically destroyed her.
One of the creepiest things about the movie though was when June Moon's in the meeting room, and she's like call to her, do the thing or whatever, and she's like, Enchantress, and like that hand comes up and holds her hand.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then it wasn't much after.
No.
And then she was half naked the rest of Yeah, okay, people complain about Harley Quinn. No one complains about the Enchantress just dancing around like pretty much naked.
Yeah,
just like
so you said she's not really an actress, not really been in much, so it's Cara Delevingne. But yeah, I didn't realize she's not really been in much, but you're right, she hasn't been. She's been in just like a few other movies recently, but prior to that, not really anything at all. But that's kind of the way that she's used in this movie, is like, just be pretty and stand there. We're going to put some lights behind you and special effects, and we just need you to stand there.
I guess Katana is like a first-time actress too, or this was her first big role, and she's like really young too. But like,
oh really?
Yeah, so we're gonna put a mask on you and give you some Japanese lines and stuff. You just talk to your source. That's all we do. Like, all right. Which I guess you might as well get a first-time actress or actor to do that. Then cover them up, and then we'll dub their lines in. All right.
I'm trying to find her name.
Karen Fukuhara.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah. Wow, yeah, born 1992. Yeah.
I have comic books older than her.
That's true. I do too. But yeah, she's not been on anything ever. This is her first ever movie. Good for her. I want to do that. I want to just come onto the scene, put me in a comic book movie.
Well, it kind of sucks that you're really limited geographically. So, like, if you were born in LA, you have like 80% more chance of just being an actor just based on a geographic location.
Right.
So you look at all these actors; they don't all necessarily come from Hollywood families, but they're all from like LA and stuff. It's because like you get discovered in LA, you won't get discovered in Cleveland, Ohio, Buffalo, New York. Not to say there aren't great actors that come from both areas, but it's just like it's a little harder though.
Right. So I should say, just in terms of, again, I think that the critical reception is not good. The commercial reception thus far has been pretty good.
It's been great.
I mean, yeah, but, right, it has been great. But like,
great.
When you look at the user ratings, 85,000 user ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, 73% said that they liked it. And
that sounds fair to me. That sounds
81,000 user ratings on IMDb, and it's at a 7.1. So like
that one sounds a little high to me though, but I guess it's the same score. Basically.
Yeah, it basically is, right? 7.1, 73. It's all the same. So I mean, basically, I don't know why the critics just seem to rip these DC movies apart, but we'll see how it goes. You have any other thoughts on the movie?
It wasn't bad, but it's there wasn't too much memorable about it. Like we talked about before, like how
that's the way I left
Graham Nolan and stuff. But like there wasn't any one moment where I felt really emotional or really connected to one of the characters, or they said like a really clever line or anything. It's like you said, it's just popcorn summer movie, but like. They always have a chance to put something memorable in it, and
well, I don't want to draw the comparison because I just feel like it's not fair. But when you left Civil War, you had the million Paul Rudd Ant-Man quotable lines that were funny.
Yeah,
you had just really cool scenes that you wanted to like recall.
There's even memorable like I don't know why I really love the way they did at the end of Civil War. The message that Steve Rogers leaves on Captain America's answering machine, I guess, or his voicemail.
right.
But like that was it was just very sincere and emotional and stuff. And like I don't know that there wasn't much solid substance in this. I don't know. Did you have anything to agree or disagree with that?
No, I mean, I'm with you. Like, it was a good movie, but yeah, you don't leave like.
It's not a bad movie, but when you make a movie, you always have a chance to do a little more if you want to. You know what I mean? It's your movie, but.
Yeah, it's, again, probably more just the editing and the back and forth. But again, from what it sounds like the beginning of the movie was kind of like that retake on the movie, and maybe the direction that the DC movies will go in the future. Being a little more colorful and lighthearted, and moving a little quicker of pace and stuff like that. And so I'm pretty excited by that because that was encouraging. So I guess I look at this as like another crack at the universe, and it's a good movie. So I probably will go see it again in theaters. Actually.
Oh, can I say one more thing about the rules thing I was talking about?
Yeah.
First? Okay, so I will compare this part to Guardians of the Galaxy. So.
I love how I think this is your second comparison. You're like, I don't see why people are comparing it, but let me compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy real quick.
But I have better comparisons, and you'll see why.
All right, go ahead. Hit me with it.
Like everyone else comparing.
You just set the bar really high for yourself.
Oh well. Okay, so story-wise, Guardians of the Galaxy, there is an Infinity Gem, and they establish that only someone with great power can hold the gem. Right.
Yep.
So. You don't know the story of Star-Lord up until this point. You just know he was abducted by aliens and he ends up in space. You don't know who his father is or anything. So, in the end, when the movie, you're like, oh man, he's going to sacrifice himself. He can't grab that gem. You don't have special powers, Star-Lord. Don't do it, Star-Lord. He's like, you don't do it. He grabs the gem and he survives. And like that sets up because he had he has some great power in him that he can survive holding the gem, and he has the power to withstand it. And like lo and behold, later you're gonna be like Ego's his father, right?
Right.
But like that's a rule in the movie. They established something early on that like only great power can hold the gem, and then he ends up being the hero that can do it. Like in this one, like I said, going back to and that defeats the Inquisitor, whatever his name is, or the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
The bad guy of Guardians of the Galaxy.
What's his name?
All right. But then, like in this, like I said before, it's just like the magic beings are defeated by explosions. It's like a letdown. It's just like, come on, like you can do a little better than that. Make a subplot where they go find the magic thing, or like where they have to recruit Diablo because he's the only one with supernatural powers. But
yeah, it's like
just weak writing for me.
Well, and yeah, it's difficult because you had to have them. The movie they were saying in an interview that this movie's about bad versus evil, and so they had to have a character that was like dispensable yet worse than them. Because if it was like another bad guy that was like had some sinister plot, it wouldn't seem big enough. So I think you kind of had to have somebody that was big enough. So I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of a tough spot to be in, to like have to write that. I don't know how you would do it, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's where you introduce Steppenwolf or something like that. That's going to be in Justice League and introduce him.
Or the mother boxes. They have those.
Yeah, like I don't know, something. But I agree with you though that
it's like a cop out, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Blow them up.
Yeah, how should we get rid of them? Let's blow them up. Never mind the fact that they like destroyed the subway system and they're like slicing aircraft carriers in half with a light beam.
A-10s and helicopters are crashed throughout the city.
Yeah, there's downed A-10s.
Attack on them.
You mean, throw a backpack full of grenades at them and shoot it, and that's all it takes to take them out. Yeah, it was a little weak.
I know you want to like the movie, and I like the movie.
No, I do like it. I'm not.
It's just like, yeah. And I don't mean to shit on DC movies. It's just like, because I like Man of Steel, and I liked The Dark Knight and stuff. So I really want them to do well. It's just they should do better. But
well, they stuck to the source material, so I'll give them that. We have good characters for moving forward, so I'm cool with that. Because I was worried about how I'd feel about the Joker, and I liked him. I was worried about, I didn't know how Will Smith would come across as Deadshot, and I liked him a lot. I liked his back and forth with Rick Flag though too.
Yeah, I did too.
I enjoyed their chemistry. I thought that they were good. I will say this though. I don't know the name of the actor that played Rick Flag off the top of my head right now, but I know that was supposed to be Tom Hardy originally. And the entire time I was watching that movie, I was like, man, I wish it was Tom Hardy.
No. Joe Kinnaman.
Yeah. Oh, he was RoboCop. That's right. He was the new RoboCop. So nothing against that guy. He's a good guy. I liked him in RoboCop, but yeah, I would rather have seen Tom Hardy.
Can I say? I think from like a military perspective, I think they characterized him a little wrong. So they call him, he's Colonel Rick Flag, but I'm like, he acts more like a major, a captain or something. Like it's such a little. Only a military person would fucking break for this. And then if you're colonel, you're way more experienced with leadership and stuff, and he's just kind of fumbling around. Even Will Smith's like, that was your pep talk and shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I get it. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to lead criminals, but like, it's just a bit off for me. He seemed like more like they're just like, when the director was just like, Zero Dark 30 and American Sniper, like, yeah, just act like those guys. It's like, all right, like, which I don't know. So I guess it's spot on then if he's acting like a soldier, but like from a military person perspective, something a little lacking for me. You could have got more granular with the detail on his character and characterization. That's all.
Dude, hire Lucky as a consultant on the next movie then.
I know. Lucky talks a good game. He likes talking shit when you come work at this movie, asshole. So
yeah.
you got.
Let's see what you got, Dick.
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you about, like I didn't get, and it has to do with Rick Flag and Will Smith again. So, okay, when he reads a file too, and then Rick Flag pulls out
all the
I don't know.
letters.
Yeah, I didn't get what they were going for there.
Or where did they come from? Why was he just carrying them around the whole time?
And like, if they are all the letters you have in the year, wouldn't it be like a big sack of them too? But then, like, what was he gonna do with them? Like, why was he carrying them? Like, when they accomplished the mission, he's like, "Oh, here's some letters, man." Like, I don't get that. And then, like, or was it because like I thought it ultimately brings Will Smith to the team, but I'm like, wouldn't he be more pissed off? Like, you guys have been holding my fucking daughter's letters for years. Like, I thought it would piss him off, but they use it as a device to unite them, and I'm just like, I don't really get that. Like, did you get that or no? Were you confused by it?
I was lost on it too because I thought it'd be the same thing. Like, you'd be upset. Like, I can't believe you withheld this from me. You did that, and then it does bring them closer. And that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would you be cool about that?
Yeah. Like, it was just off because I get what they're doing. It was like Rick Flag's big come to Jesus moment. Like, hey, I really need you guys. I've been playing you wrong this whole time. This whole situation is my fault. You know, that's my girlfriend and stuff. And like, you know, they ultimately joined because they like sympathize with them. So it was just weird to have that in there added on top.
There's another little like trinket that goes throughout the movie that I didn't understand. Captain Boomerang has that pink unicorn that he keeps stuffing in his jacket.
Yeah.
I don't know why he has that.
It was like people laughed when he did it and stuff, and he was cute, but like I wonder maybe if that's like a cut scene or something. Like, yeah, it didn't make sense to me. Like,
right.
Besides like comic relief, like,
yeah,
I thought he was a cool character, by the way, too. I just love when there's like, you guys are Rick Flag like deactivates their device. You guys don't have to be. He gets up immediately and leaves. Like, that was a great moment.
That was good.
Just like, oh, done. It's like, wait a second, it was a little fast, but just like, so I think he's a cool character. I want to see him in a Flash movie or something. Like, that's a great bad guy.
Yeah.
I like how they updated his boomerangs. They turned into little drones, use them as a camera.
Yeah, that was cool. I did like that a lot too. But it was funny when he's flying it close, and I'm like, well, you can't get that close. He's going to destroy your boomerang. And of course he did. He's like, no, a little lower. I'm like, well, this thing's about to be toast.
I think I got it all out of me.
You did it?
Going through all of my things. I think overall the movies, I just wrote that like it was just like a little nihilistic, like in that they just kill people and there's no real consequences. Which I don't know. Maybe I think maybe they had like chance for more emotion, but they just didn't. Oh, my buddy Eric, he said one of the things. He's like, he griped a lot about it. He's like every moment ended with a joke. Like everything was just a joke to Harley Quinn, which I kind of get. Like she's like the Joker's girl, but like every serious moment I think kind of had some kind of abrupt thing that was just, I don't know. I guess I'd have to go watch it again to see exactly where he's coming from. But at the time he told me, I kind of got that feeling too.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, but I think it goes for her character. I mean, that's what she's supposed to. She finds humor in stuff that other people are like, that's not funny. That's sick. That's crazy. That's twisted. And she thinks it's funny and cute and playful. And that's like why she's crazy. So I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I think that's a compliment, actually.
I like Joker's henchmen a lot. The big mask. They had the one guy with the classic Batman mask and shit. And
yeah, that was funny.
That was nice because like that's the way his henchmen should look. Like that was great, I thought.
Bob Gunn. And and back to like
my balloons.
By comparison, in like the old Batman movie, they're just like wearing sunglasses at night. And like, they all have like team jackets. Like they're wearing like Letterman's jackets or something. I don't know.
Yeah, this was way better.
They had funny costumes on. They were basically like a team of mascots running around like with assault rifles.
But also a little like what's that movie where they're like skydivers and it's like Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, Point Break.
Point Break, yeah.
Well, like Point Break, you know, they had the mask of the presidents and stuff. So
yeah.
Nod to that in that surreal way, but like it was perfect for the Joker. Though it's great.
So all in all, good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie with problems.
Yeah.
You know, that's all.
Awesome. Cool. I think so too. All right. Well, go see Suicide Squad.
Form your own opinions on it. Yeah, but don't take our word for it. Ba-da-ba. A little Reading Rainbow.
Little Reading Rainbow callback. Little LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of, I'm going to go see Star Trek.
The saddest Reading Rainbow. Just middle-aged men talking for an hour
about comic books.
Yeah. I think you should read this one, but don't take my word for it. Now, okay, here's what I guess. Here's a question: does seeing this movie make you want to read Suicide Squad books?
No,
it's a big no for me either. And then maybe that's a mark of a good comic book movie is when you read it and like I want to learn about these characters some more, like because I've done that for other books. You know what I mean? Just like I'm gonna go back and read like who the fuck, what happened with all this Bane and stuff, and who was that side villain?
Yeah, I'll tell you one of my favorite like buddy up of like villains is not Suicide Squad. I like Secret Six a lot better.
Who's in the Secret Six and what's their story?
Well, they've had a lot of different.
Are they the ones that are the Flash's villains? Because his villains have a name, don't they? When they all get together.
No, they're not. Well, they're not especially. They're not like one character's bad guys or like rogues gallery or whatever. Okay. So like I read it back in like the later 2000s ish. Gail Simone was the writer at the time, and that was like Deadshot was there, Bane was in it. All
right, just based on the two movie characters, I like that better already.
Yeah, you had Catman.
Catman?
He's a Batman villain. Makes
sense. Is it like
it?
You know what the natural predator of bats are?
Cats. Yeah, but he's cool though. He doesn't like look like a cat. The way they drew him and stuff. I mean, he kind of looks like Batman, but instead of like the bat symbol on his chest, he's got like claw marks down the chest.
I wish it was just a little cat paw.
But yeah, he's good. So you've Catman, Deadshot, Bane.
Sometimes Catman, is he ever a good guy?
I don't know. I don't think so. One of my favorites that's in it is Ragdoll, and Ragdoll is just like an absolute like psychopath, and I don't know. He's just one of my. He was one of the funniest parts about that series that I just thought was great. And I think Harley Quinn might have maybe had a brief appearance in Secret Six also. So yeah, there's just so many different iterations though. Oh, Scandal Savage was in it too. Daughter of Vandal Savage. And I think she's a lesbian too. So I think she's like a rare lesbian villain.
Well, good for her.
Yeah.
Hey, all lesbians aren't villains either, okay? It just established.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like that, and so I'm not trying to say like the Suicide Squad wasn't good, but like, I don't know how you would do Ragdoll. Ragdoll would be weird because he has like.
What's Ragdoll's power?
He's like a contortionist and like just general psychopath. So I don't think that he like does. I don't think.
Well, if they could get a real contortionist, that might look good on screen.
No, that would look
like creepy
bad on screen. Yeah. Probably.
I don't know. I'm imagining. You remember not Tekken, but Soul Calibur? That character Voldo. He's basically like a contortionist.
Oh yeah.
I could see maybe if they could get someone to act like that a little bit or something, or just do some of that stuff. But yeah, plus you could CGI a contortionist, make it look really sickening, kind of like the who was that? The little girl in the with that Japanese horror movie. You know what I'm talking about or not? What's the one with the well? No, The Ring. Like that's a contortionist.
Oh really?
Actress that plays that, yeah, and she's like real creepy and stuff. You could have them do stuff like that possibly.
I try not to watch scary movies, so.
I have nightmares.
Stranger Things is about as scary as I can handle.
Oh, by the way, did you see the Stranger Things cameo? The
What?
the chief of police is in
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's like one of the government guys.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
happy for him. I want his career to be good.
the dude from the Mindy Project is like the one guard at Belle Reve.
Oh yeah. He's
Was
he's a comedic actor. He's in a lot of stuff.
Briggs?
He's in
Yeah.
the League. Shit. Yeah. That was a fun character.
Yeah. Stephanie, what's that guy's name? Ike Barinholtz. Yeah.
Why does she know his name?
She loves that guy. It's
Oh,
like her
she loved
favorite
the
dude on Mindy
Mindy
Project. Yeah. Yeah. And he is funny in the movie too, though.
Yeah.
He's
It's
just such
like-
a dick.
He's like a dick to them, and then he owes all this money to
The Joker. See, that's real quick. It goes back to just how much stuff was cut out. That scene where the Joker's like, "I can't wait to show you my toys." Not in the movie. Not in the movie.
All of that chit chat's gonna get you hurt. Which is fun to say. That's a fun line to write and say. All that chit chat's gonna get you hurt.
He did have a cool delivery. I liked what he did with the character. I felt like it was almost kind of like a little bit Heath Ledger-esque at times.
Yeah.
Not like a direct thing, but like I felt like he was closer to Heath Ledger than he was to Jack Nicholson at any point.
I think so too. And can I say I really enjoyed his wardrobe? It's just such a dumb thing, but I really liked. Just like, "Oh, you dressed up for me, Mr. J," or whatever. It's just like, I just like how he's wearing like a tuxedo. Like his different outfits were just great. Like they look cool.
Well, they were polarizing because like in one scene he's wearing like a purple foil jacket with no shirt underneath, and like chains, and then the next scene he's wearing like a full blown tuxedo. I feel like it was maybe a little bit of fan service to show you like the way that the Joker's been kind of depicted in comic books throughout the years, because there's so many different outfits that he's wearing throughout the movie, and they are so different. But I feel like they're each generation of the Joker that you've seen before. Like with all the tattoos, there was a cover that was done for All-Star Batman where the Joker had like his shirt off and he's got a big dragon tattooed on his back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and
I love that hand that's smiling his tattoo, and he covers his face with it, and then later he covers Harley Quinn's face with it.
Yeah.
It's a really cool device.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see about his teeth. I feel like there's more there to like know.
Can I tell you what I read?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
read a thing
it was
about the
about
thing.
the timeline of the Joker, Batman, and Robin. So supposedly the Robin that was killed is Jason Todd, and so like someone was related, it might turn into a Red Hood storyline for the new Batman movie. But so the Robin that is killed, or asterisk killed, comic book universe killed by Joker is Jason Todd. So we could make a assumption that Batman really beat the shit out of Joker for killing Jason Todd. So maybe the reason that Joker has metal teeth is because Batman knocked out all his teeth after he caught him for killing Jason Todd, and so he had metal teeth to replace them.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm down.
If that's what they're going with, I like it better than it just being grills or something.
I didn't read all the details, but there was another like theory out there that Harley Quinn was actually the one that killed Robin.
Ooh, that could be. That's even stronger if that's her baptism rather than a literal baptism in the Acme chemical plant chemicals.
Right.
That it's a baptism of blood and violence instead.
What if the Joker had like jacked him up real bad and like she finishes the deal? Like that's
like he's just torturing him for days.
Yeah, like that's her initiation,
Now, I brought you a present. I want you to. I got you a piñata for your birthday. It's like beat. Robin's the piñata.
And that I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I think the relationship between Joker and Harley Quinn was like more adult oriented, but very similar to what you see in like the animated series. Just the way they kind of interact. She calls him Puddin' and stuff like that. And I just I thought that all those like little nods and references were cool.
You could do a cool thing if you did a movie. I don't know if they'll have time or space to do a movie with her, but like if you just treat them like Bonnie and Clyde, and like they're just going on a big crime spree.
That's
and like
when Batman, Joker and her are riding through the city in that like Lamborghini, and Batman shows up and she's like, "You're ruining date night." I thought that was great, and so exactly like you're saying, like, and then the Joker just like flies his car into the river, which again, I thought is just a really good depiction because she's crazy for the Joker, but he's like. She's dispensable to him. You know? She cares for him. And yeah.
As Mark Hamill would say.
Yeah, I just
feed the hyenas.
I guess it's just like things like that, like the Joker and and Harley Quinn's interaction, Deadshot being awesome, all those things in the movie. Like they just kind of like, for whatever story hiccups it had and whatever was clunky or chunky about the movie, I can kind of like ignore all that stuff because the characterization was so good. Whereas like in Batman versus Superman, you got Superman that's supposed to be like this beacon of hope and optimism, and he's always like frowning and scowling and stuff like that. So you don't have a very good characterization of Superman, or at least it's not portrayed as such. And so that's where I just think Suicide Squad sets itself apart because, you know, story may not be the best in the world, but really good characters and really good actors playing those characters, so you can roll with it, I think.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
That's my 2 cents summed up in...
Nice.
Yeah, in short. Yeah. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. I'm sorry, I don't have a good transition. I don't have a good response. It's late.
I'm turning it off. That's it.
It's been a long weekend.
All right. Well, hey, then that's been our review of Suicide Squad. Subscribe to all of our stuff and check us out every week or as often as we post shows, which in this case is like once every other day. And
tune in tomorrow when we watch TV and
when more things happen. And thanks for listening, guys.
Hey, thanks, guys. Go see the movie. Hope you enjoy it. And talk about it. Read some comics.
Bye.
Bye.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Best Friends Podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard on today's show, check us out on the web at tbfcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at tbfcast. And like us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/the Best Friends Podcast.